Jai Gurudev. Let us start with the Guru Vandanam. Akhanda mandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darsitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya gnananjana salakaya chakshurmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gurudev. I just want to continue from yesterday. So after the enlightenment and taking the Sanyas and remaining in Himalayas for 5 years, then the decision came to me that it's time to leave the Himalayas and to do something for Loka Kalyanam. This is not simply my inspiration, it is the inspiration of the Divine. 5 years in Tirumala and 5 years in Himalayas, they're very great energy centers, very great spiritual and enlightening centers. Swamiji would say that if one could be in tapas for 5 years, then one could be enlightened. And that has been the truth in my case. Of course, I had been doing the sadhana for a very long time, and there was not a day when I didn't miss meditation or whatever sadhana I chose, even for one single day, even during the most busiest schedule in my life. So it has been a very uninterrupted sadhana since 1981, which just grew and grew and grew, just like from a seed to a sapling to a plant to a tree, and then finally the maturity came in Tirumala, and then the blossoming, full blossoming of this Brahman came in Himalayas. Himalayas are truly extraordinary. They are just energizing energy centers, and such purification and stillness in this Himalayas one cannot describe. Having Ganga Snanam and being in the mountains and seeing these snow peaks, it is beyond comprehension. Here one doesn't have to do much sadhana really. So much of the samskaras just leave by themselves. So much of that silence and stillness comes by itself, and so much of the revelation of the truths come by themselves. So one might say, there are so many people living in the Himalayas. Why aren't they all enlightened? It's simply because, they are not in tune. If one is not enlightened, that means they are not in tune. They are not with an anushtan and with sadhana. But this is the place where many rishis have been enlightened, and many rishis are all alive there, because once they are enlightened, and even if they leave the bodies, the consciousness remains. So these rishis are there, and they are blessing whenever they see a seeker, an ardent seeker looking for enlightenment, seeking enlightenment, and they are constantly blessing and constantly helping this seeker. It is Gurudev's grace and Sadashiva and Jagannatha grace that I had been able to be in these two great kshetras to do my tapas. So after the enlightenment, one has a choice. One can stay in silence and just be self-referral, or come back into the world and for Loka Kalyanam. Many of the sannyasis and rishis really don't want to come back because there is so much of roughness in the world. But a few dare to come back And then because the Loka Kalyanam is needed, and they stand there like lions and deal with all that roughness and make sure that the expansion of this happiness, expansion of this enlightenment, expansion of this bliss, comes on in the whole of the society. In fact, for the whole of the creation. We thought for a little while, where we should leave from the Himalayas, and then I thought it is best to come back to Hyderabad, the place where I grew up, went to college, studied medicine, had some friends and family, and then I thought that will be a good place to start doing something good for the Loka Kalyanam. When I leave the Himalayas, I realize really how much the structure has changed in the society, how much the society has deviated from these natural laws and really degenerated from this Vedic knowledge and Sanatana Dharma. Every avatar, every Mahapurusha came just to bring the revival of this Sanatana Dharma, establish this Sanatana Dharma, protect the rishis, sadhus and sannyasis, protect the pandits who were reading the Vedas so that the Vedic recitation continues, protect the cows so that the Vedas and the Yagyas continue. But what I realized is there is really no respect and love for the Vedas, for the Pandits, for the Rishis and Sannyasis, for the scriptures, and for the cows. Yes, something has changed in the last 3 generations because this is not how I grew up. But I'm here for the expansion. I had to remind myself I'm here for the expansion. And the expansion of the bliss, and the expansion of this enlightenment, and the expansion of this Vedic knowledge and technologies. So I had to remind myself that this is what I have to work with. These are the people I have to work with. And this is where it begins, but it will expand. It will expand. A new generation will come. A whole new generation can be created from the youngsters. So keeping this in mind, then I thought, the revival should start simultaneously in the city and in the villages. And in the villages particularly, we would start with teaching the children and the women and the farmers meditation, yoga, pranayama, Sanskrit language, revival of the Sanskrit language, revival of the recitations of the Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, particularly if they can read in Sanskrit, then they become so intelligent, all the ordinary kids will become extraordinary in one generation. Bringing back Ayurveda as the basic health unit and reviving the Vedic Organic agriculture, which is 0% now. It's no more, it's not existent at all. There is not even organic agriculture anywhere that I could see. There is some organic agriculture in the Himalayas, in Himachal Pradesh and parts of Uttarakhand, but there the land is very little, very, very small parcels they do. But coming to the south, it's really all chemical agriculture, and the food is really so poisoned. So then we call this mission Ideal Vedic Villages of Ram Raj, And this is what it is expansion of Ram Raj, expansion of Ram Raj, expansion of Ram's consciousness. And by the grace of Gurudev, it will happen. In Hyderabad city, then with the help of Anil ji, the TM teacher, we decided that we should bring expansion of consciousness by having more and more people learn TM. He is the Transcendental Meditation teacher. And so it is started. We almost had 9 to 10 courses in my flat here. And we are trying to reach out to the corporate, to the schools, to the women's organizations. And I think slowly it will happen. So when any good work is started, the help of many people is needed. The help of many people is needed. And it is actually a good thing when people help, because whoever is helping, they become purified. Their own samskaras become purified. Their own vasanas will leave them. And they would have more rapid evolution and carve their path for enlightenment. This is such a sattvic work, helping people, bringing back our culture and traditions, and letting people know the empowered value, the power of these Vedic technologies, because all Vedic technologies are rooted in bliss. All Vedic technologies are rooted in bliss. Bliss is the source and the foundation of all Vedic technologies. Every one of them will lead you to that meditative state, to that inner silence, and to that inner bliss. All the Vedic technologies are conducive to bringing in the balance of the mind, the body, the emotions, the intellect, the behavior, and the environment. The Vedic technologies are the only ones that take everything into consideration, the whole of creation into consideration, all the beings into consideration, all the elements into consideration, all the gunas into consideration, all the doshas into consideration. So it is from the microcosm to the macrocosm, anoranyan to mahato mahyan, everything is concerned and connected and addressed in these Vedic technologies. Health will naturally grow, happiness will naturally grow, contentment will naturally grow, enlightenment will naturally come with these Vedic technologies. There doesn't have to be so much of an effort. I feel it is a very good time with Gurudev's grace and Sadasiva and Jagannatha's blessings that that this expansion will happen. It will happen on its own accord. Yes, many of you would want to help it, and if you help it, it is very good for you and for all the generations that are connected to you. But it will happen, and we will see Ram Raj happening. I may not see all of it in my lifetime, but it is begun. So somebody else will carry on, somebody else will carry on. But at least if we don't plant the seeds, then nothing happens. It will always be a parched land, and there will always be hopelessness. The enlightened one understands that it is all the consciousness. Consciousness is the charioteer, Sarathi. Consciousness is the Sarathi. So this Sarathi, Krishna, Bhagavan, if we call it Krishna Bhagavan or Sadasiva, they will lead it, they will guide it. Vedamata wants it, it will happen. Nothing is going to obstruct it. So I just pray that this expansion happen, that I have the health and the courage and the peace to allow the expansion to happen, and it will happen. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.